Visiting my mom today was, without question, one of the worst experiences in my entire life. And those of you who know me know I've had a lot of bad experiences. I didn't put him in the crate today. I let him run free, and of course I came home, he got in the bathroom on the floor. You know what? Who cares? I won't be visiting my mother again. I told her. She doesn't answer her phone. I told her that I've been trying to call her every day, and she doesn't answer her phone. And that if she wants to talk to me, she could ask the aide, ask someone ask the nurse for my phone number. Call me, which I don't foresee happening. That was agony for me today. Of course, she's like, Laura, I want to go home. Can I please go home? I said, I can't. I have no control over that. Yes, you do. You put me here. You can take me home. And then, of course, she's crying, which goes back to the same thing why Selena says my mom would be better off just not knowing what's happening to her. Because she does know. She was saying to me, I'm a human, living, human, breathing being. Why did you do this to me? Why did you do this? And crying her eyes out. I had no choice. I had no choice. The nurse, the aide, I'm crying my eyes out when I was leaving, and they're like, it's not your fault, right? You had no choice. She doesn't mean what she says. She doesn't, yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter if I know I had no choice. I had no choice. She's the type who'll die in front of you. I didn't call 911 when other people probably would have. If I tried to protect her, I kept her away from her therapist and Nurse Ratchet when she first got out because, I was afraid that if she acted with them the way she'd been acting with me, they'd section her immediately. In the end, everything I tried to do for her amounted to total shit. And today was fucking agony. Agony. Seeing her like that. But the thing is, it's this life, it sucks. You know what I mean? It's not like she's 20, she's 70. It's the luck of the draw. Tons and tons and tons and tons of people her age have either physical problems or mental problems or both. Okay? Basically, I tried to say to her, obviously I'm talking softly, the aide was nice enough to leave the room, but she was standing right outside the door, and she heard, because when I left and I was in agony, I said, did you hear that? She's like, yeah, I did. You heard her say, Laura, I don't love you, and blaming me, and yeah, she heard everything. She can give you privacy. It's not real privacy. She still has to stand right outside the door, but at least she's not in there. She's hearing everything, though. And she's like, it's not your fault, right? It doesn't matter. I can look at her like she has two heads. And I said, did you know? I said, were you the aide that caught her eating toilet paper in the bathroom? And she's like, yeah. And I was going to, remember, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt about the toilet paper thing. And I said, what happened? And she said, because I'm thinking maybe she didn't know. She knew what she was doing. The aide said to her, what are you doing? And she says, I'm eating toilet paper. And then the aide said, I think it's better you don't do that. The aide's not a nurse or anything, she's just a sitter. They have someone sit in there with you. I had to call 911. I wouldn't have done it. I didn't do it when she's mouthing off to me, when she's having those outbursts or hating me or this, that, whatever. But if she's constantly crying, telling me she doesn't feel good, and not telling me what's wrong, I can't just sit back and watch that. And a UTI wouldn't have got any better. It would have got worse and worse. Plus, she wasn't taking her meds. I had no choice. Yet I have no faith in the system, so, you know, she's headed off to whatever, another fucking mental hospital, and it fucking sucks. Like I said, why should I be hands-on anymore when me being hands-on has no bearing on anything? We've seen it. It doesn't help, doesn't matter, doesn't anything. It's probably the beginning of the end for her. I think she's just giving up. Withdrawing. But not before. Sending my heart shattering into a million pieces. mom's church friend or ex-friend, or in my mom's eyes, ex-friend, has an uncanny ability to contact me when something bad's going on with my mom. I'm sure that church woman would blame it, say it's God. But it's not God to me, because I don't want to deal with her, you know, her whatever, her everything will be okay attitude when it isn't going to be okay. We've repeatedly seen over this past year that it isn't going to be okay, period. You know what I mean? It isn't going to be okay. It's only gotten progressively worse. And I just can't deal with anyone religious. Now, I didn't ignore her, because when I first heard from her out of the blue, how are things going, and I wrote back horrible, and then she goes, did your mom see her new therapist? So obviously the woman just has this uncanny ability, for whatever reason, she has this uncanny ability that she always calls, because it's happened before. And I think that she knows what's going on, and that's why she's contacted me, and she doesn't have a clue. I don't know how she would know what's going on, but it's just weird. It's weird-ass coincidence, let me tell you. It's happened before, where she contacts me just out of the blue at the exact moment something horrible is going on. The last time she contacted me was when that asshole hospital sent my mom home, and the absolute unbelievably, like, the condition they sent my mom home, and I'm sorry, but I'll just scream that forever, is astounding to me. They felt my mom was okay to be discharged in that condition. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? And that time the woman contacted me out of the blue, and I thought she contacted my mom, or my mom called, she knew something. No, it was chance. She happened to see me walking. Yeah, I walked because I was going to get dinner for me and my mom, and to get my mom's meds, you know. And I'm thinking, why did I hear from you? And I'm thinking, she knows what's going on. She didn't know anything was going on. She did after I contacted her, because I'm thinking she contacted me for some reason. And whatever text she sent me a text, and it was kind of vague, or it made me think that she knew what was going on. I forget what the text was, but it led me to falsely believe she knew it was. She had no idea. Just chance. Just like this time, she decided to contact me out of the blue, and I have to give her bad news. But last time she contacted me out of the blue, I had to give her bad news too. You know, that they sent my mom home in this horrible condition. I knew she was going to have to go be sectioned again. I had no choice. But remember, she blames me. To her, everything's fine. Even when today, I said to her, Mom, I said, I had to call 911. You had a UTI. You weren't taking your meds. There's nothing wrong with me. I was taking my meds. See? I can't win. No one can win. And if these people, the professionals, think I'm crying because I think they're going to blame me, I know damn well they're not going to blame me. They're on my side. They know I had no choice but to call 911. I'm not crying over that. I'm crying because my mother does not understand that. She's incapable of understanding that. That I didn't do it to hurt her. I did it out of fear, out of concern. The guy at Christ has even said, I can only hope that my kid would do that for me when, you know, when I'm that age. I know, but she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand. She hates me. She really hates me. I think I don't know you're a breathing human being, Mom. I can't have you sitting here and you know, for all I know, dying in front of me or something. She would have let herself die in front of me with that lithium toxicity thing if I wasn't smart enough to get her the help she needed. But remember, that time, they got her off the lithium. And then she was cooperating. She was taking her meds. She wasn't ripping out IVs and eating toilet paper in the bathroom and wandering around other people's rooms, you know. So I don't know what's going on with her. Except it's, you know, like I said in the other video, in the alternative world, they believe, which I say we, I'm part of the alternative world, but anyway, the alternative world believes that 90% of all diagnosed, in quotations, dementia cases are attributed to pharmaceutical drugs. It's a miracle my mom's lasted this long, and I'm fairly certain this is the beginning of the end for her. Drinking for no reason. It's not like I'm getting any pleasure out of it. It's punishment. I get some pleasure out of it when I can go out. But other than that, not so much. Do very little nowadays but cry. Seeing my mom in that condition is horrible. It's horrible. She knows what's happening to her and she's scared, I'm sure, but she's not like she'll talk to anybody about it. She's just in her own personal hell. So am I. That church woman, I think, left me a couple texts, but see, that's the thing. I'm willing to tell her what's going on. I'm not willing to discuss it with her. You understand? Discussing it means she gets involved and I have to hear all her bullshit that everything will be fine. So last time my mom wound up in that hospital, oh, I've heard good things about that hospital, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, my aunt can't stand that hospital and it said a long time ago, don't send my mom there. And my friend did research on it and said, you know what I mean? So the thing is, she keeps going to these hospitals, and the person I talked to today was the same one I talked to for an hour and a half the last time before she went to this hospital, the last one. But this person is, I'm saying that last time that guy called me and said, unless I'm my mom's guardian, I don't have any, this guy is saying, no, that's not true. And I'm like, okay, well now I'm getting conflicting things. You can say, oh, you won't send my mom to certain hospitals, but, or you'll try to accommodate my desire to not have her go back to these hospitals she's been at repeatedly and they haven't helped her. But in the end, someone else takes over like last time and sends her wherever they feel like, you know, so I don't know, people. He did at least swear to me I had nothing to worry about. She will never, ever be sent back to that one that violated her HIPAA rights. And it's not because they violated HIPAA rights. Apparently there's something going on now. He says they don't even answer our calls. They don't deal with us. And good. Good. I wish my mom had never been sent there to begin with. And remember, she got out of that one after all those months in there. And because they had her on Seroquel, and she could tell that it was causing her to slur her words and stuff, whatever, and she actually asked to be taken to the hospital. And she wound up in a different hospital just for 3 weeks, though. And when she was released from there, she was fine. She was discharged in a fine condition. Then she came home to me, and she was fine. But then we were in the middle of that thing, though, you know. Remember when Auntie and I went to court that time in the emergency, my mom was, unbeknownst to me, in a new mental hospital. But then she got out and had to be faced with the fact that she had to talk to a lawyer and had a conservator now and a guardian and this, that, whatever, you know. Ade's young, probably doesn't know much about life, or hasn't experienced much in life, you know, and I like, did you hear that? She's like, yeah, I heard it. She didn't mean it, though. She doesn't know what she's saying. Yeah, you'd be surprised what she knows. You guys think she's so unaware, and I don't think you're as right as you think. Oh God, does that help people? I'm gonna be going back. I won't be a bit surprised if she even doesn't want anything to do with me anymore when she goes to whatever new mental hospital. I'll just do what Auntie's always done over the years, you know. I don't know where she'll be sent anyway. It might be where I can't get to via public transportation. Who knows? The fact is, even if I can get there, why am I going to travel far if my mom hates me and doesn't want to see me anyway? You know? If she blames me. I told the crisis guy I'm used to her and her breakdowns being manic or being, at least being, still having fire and feisty and this, that, whatever. I'm not used to that I was experiencing. And he's like, well, what goes up must come. I know, but it doesn't ever. I've never seen her like this. I've not seen her like this since I was a kid. In grade school, as I told him. I haven't seen her like this since I was a kid. Of course, they want you to maintain hope. Meanwhile, I had that nurse saying to me yesterday, she doesn't think, you know, my mom will ever be able to come home again. Mom's church friend. I tell you what's going on, but I don't want to actually deal with you. Understand? It's enough. It takes all my energy just to tell you what's going on. I tell her I know that she cares. You know, she does care. Otherwise, she wouldn't bother. You know, why would she bother? If she didn't care, she wouldn't bother, because my mom has made it perfectly clear she wants nothing to do with this woman, you know. I sent her this. I am in agony and can't talk. Everything I tried so hard to do for my poor mother ultimately amounted to total shit. She was crying constantly, telling me she did not feel good, but refusing to tell me what was wrong. I honestly feared there was something physically wrong with her, and I felt I had no choice but to call 911. But I called for medical reasons, so at least did not have to deal with the usual 4 cops coming here. It turned out that I was right about there being something physically wrong with her. She had a bad UTI and, shocking to me, had not been taking her meds, yet tricking me into believing she was taking them. The nurse taking care of my mom yesterday bluntly informed me that she did not believe my mom would be able to ever return home again. The way my mom has been behaving while the hospital has been busy trying to medically clear her has unfortunately caused crisis to section her. She refuses to take her meds. She ripped out her IV that was giving her her Depakote. She has been wandering into other patients' rooms at night and disturbing of all. An aide caught her eating toilet paper in the bathroom. I visited her today. She hates me for calling 911 on her. I will not be visiting her again, but you should go see her. See how horrible she looks. It is beyond heartbreaking to witness. As for me, I do very little nowadays but cry. Oh God, is that horrible? Laura, I don't love you. Whatever, Mom, don't love me. I can't sit here and let you, be getting sicker and sicker in front of me. Or anyone else in my position would feel the same way. I had no choice. I'm a living, breathing being, Laura. Why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me? We had plans. We were talking about moving and selling the... I know. And none of that was going to happen if you're sitting here crying constantly, getting sicker and sicker, and refusing to go to any of your appointments or anything, Mom. And unbeknownst to me, not taking your meds. It was only going to get worse. It was only going to get worse. It's just like I told you guys. I told you that I felt like the speeding train was heading straight towards us, and I was right, wasn't I? Didn't I say it? The speeding train's heading straight towards us, and I was 100% on the money, wasn't I? Mama was 100% on the money, Holmes. I was right on the money. Told you, the speeding train's coming straight toward my mom and me. And I was right. I was right. I was right. I had no choice but to call 911. I was scared for her. And I gave her an out. You know? Get up and go to your dentist. But it was only going to get worse. She wasn't taking her meds. And if the UTI was causing confusion and causing her not to take her meds, well, if I hadn't called 911, the UTI was just going to continue getting worse, and everything was just going to continue getting worse. It wasn't going to suddenly be better. And at some point, if she was going to go back to her old therapist and Nurse Ratchet, if she was going to whatever, you know, at some point, someone else, she would have got sectioned. Anyway, there's no way she can behave like that and not have the eyes upon her. You know, eventually, unfortunately for her, I'm terrified and fear it's the beginning of the end for her because of the dementia aspect I see. I have no faith in the system. I'm 100% on the side of John Barron and all of them, where, like he's saying, you know, giving these psych meds to somebody already who has to, it's just throwing fuel on the fire. It's just am I ever going to get my period? This is unreal. Another week, it'll be 2 months. Extremely windy earlier. Wind tomorrow. Okay.